Hey guys, welcome back to the Sister Show. I'm your host, George Washington.
You guys, we're putting Jackie's weave in like 2 weeks.
I'm like a bald rat right now, and
sometimes a little break is necessary, but
no, I
know when you take that hair out, it's like, who am I? I totally get it.
I lost my whole personality.
It's gone. She left the group chat.
She left the group chat.
Well, we're going to get you right back into shape. Don't worry.
I know. I have full faith, but for now it's depressing. So, all right, tell me your sister is shit for the week.
So, my sister is shit for this week is my walking pad.
Okay.
So, I was very on the fence about getting one. I know you asked me, like, why'd you get one? Because we're literally on the same floor as the amenities.
You're literally on the same floor as, like, a high-tech, state-of-the-art gym that has beautiful treadmills.
But I got the walking pad for 2 reasons. One, because I want to be able to work and do things that I need to do while exercising. I feel like sometimes I get in this headspace. I don't know if you ever like get this way when you get very overwhelmed about your day, but it's like, okay, today I'm either working or I'm moving.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like sometimes you get in that headspace.
I'm 100% there. Like this past week, it was the same shit for me.
Just like you get into that work grind, and sometimes taking care of your body and moving sometimes gets pushed to the side, which is totally normal and human. But I'm trying to kind of close that gap and make it less of an excuse for myself. So
I get it.
Getting the walking pad was just something that I figured would help me, because especially when doing podcast stuff, it's like, you know, it is tedious in the sense of like I have to sit and listen to the episode, and right. I can't really do that in the gym. So that was honestly the main reason I got it, and it's been good, like especially being able to just at any moment, like even if I want to chill and watch TV or do like edit reels, just to do it in my home sometimes.
So where are you putting the computer? Like, are you putting it over there?
For now, it's there. We've been talking about doing like a standing desk situation. So we might switch out the desk in my room and do like a standing desk. Obviously, it can move up and down. Right. And then we just put the pad under the bed. Mm-hmm. And I mean, we haven't gotten the desk yet, but I'm excited. And I think it's a good way to like, you don't really have an excuse at all to not get it in, even when you have work and like stuff like that. So it's just been very convenient and easy, and it's like a very small, slim one. There's some like bulky ones, and I didn't want one like that. So when we found this one, I was like, it's perfect. And
yeah, I thought about that. I feel like I would fall flat on my face if I did coach calls while I was walking. But hypothetically, like you're like, haven't you edited a reel while on the treadmill? And I have. Yeah. So, I mean, it is something that I have thought about to change out my desk in my office and get like a standing desk and then have the treadmill. I wouldn't even probably put it away. I would leave it just under my desk and it would be like the vibe of the room. Yeah. Maybe I'll find a pink one or something.
They have pink ones.
Yeah, I know. And I've thought about that, but I totally was low-key judging you when you got yours. And Sean and I were judging you because I'm like, she lives in the most beautiful city with the most beautiful weather. And on top of it, she lives in a luxury apartment on the floor of the state-of-the-art gym. So I'm like, what is this bitch getting? No, yeah. But it makes sense. Yeah. Because you're not going to bring your laptop to...
And I was trying to find online actually like a laptop, you know, like a bath thing. I was trying to find one, and I couldn't find one that I could just like put on any treadmill. So I was like, forget it, because, you know, I want something that I can actually use and work. So that was like why we got it. And I honestly think, I mean, obviously I prefer outdoor walking. I prefer going on a walk outside in nature, but there's times when I just like need to do something, but I don't want to give up getting my steps in that day.
So I want to tell you that I 1000%, and I know you and I are so connected, it's ridiculous, but this past week especially, and with my coaching business really like, thank you God, is like so successful. I have been having to make the trade-off of hitting my goals in my fitness in the day of back-to-back coach calls. And so then I feel like at the end of the day, as I'm coaching these women that I love to do, I'm exhausted. And so I think that I'm going to copy you.
I will let you know about the standing desk, but we have one in our Amazon cart. We're going to get rid of that and get a standing desk. And use it for both of us because he really wants a desk too. So I'll let you know, but I think we're really gonna like it because it kind of just gets rid of that excuse of like, I worked a lot, which I get it. Like when I'm on my feet all day after being in the salon, I don't want to come home and do my workouts. That's why I had to switch to morning back in Jersey because I couldn't do it. It's exhausting. So I get it. Like after you've used up all your brain and energy for the day, it's like you don't want to.
And I try, like after calls, I will say, because we live in such a great area, I walk outside 3 times a day minimum, but like some days I don't have the break.
Yeah.
And so if I had my walking pad, also I'm in health and wellness, so it'd be like leading by example on the call, like, hey, I am getting my steps in while I'm talking to you about your constipation or whatever we're doing. So
your colon cancer.
Oh my gosh. So no, I think that I'm gonna talk to Sean about it and find my vibe.
Your pink one?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Because my little corner would be perfect. I would just have it out all the time. I wouldn't, because we downsized so much to our villa, under my bed has storage. Like our fans are there, and then I have the baskets. So I wouldn't be able to hide it anywhere, but I could change my desk. My desk is very big for my room. And so getting like a very like sleek up, down, standing desk.
I think it could be life changing.
Imagine like I never sat at my desk again. I just always made my ass walk at it. Yeah. I'm just a little nervous I'm going to fall on my face.
It's really not that bad. You can try mine, like trial it. It's really, once you're on there.
How fast do you go?
Like 2.8 to 3.
Okay.
But that's like.
I'm just trying to think about like if I'm like editing with a mouse at a computer, like.
I feel like 2.8 to 3 would be like a little fast for like precision work.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like holding my phone I could, but I don't know if on a computer I could like do that.
So maybe it's like a 2.0 when you're on your laptop or computer, and then if you're on like a call looking at someone, you can go up to like 3.
Yeah. That's what I think.
All right, I guess we'll see.
Yeah. So what's your sister's
shit? My sister's shit, since my weave is out, has been just really going like I know you've been on the Scalp journey. So I have been just doing like rosemary treatments, and I made my own. It's just like castor oil, maybe 20 drops of rosemary oil, 20 drops of cedarwood, and 20 drops of lavender. And I've just been like allowing my George Washington hair just to be vibing out.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I've been doing that. And obviously I'm not going to see a difference. I'm only going to have the weave out for a little bit, but it's good. It's a good reminder of the health of my hair to look at it and appreciate my scalp. And then also I've been taking vitamins called Nutrafol for consistently.
Everyone's been talking about them. What are your thoughts?
So I'm a supplement whore. I'm a product whore. I'm a cup whore. I have a problem, but I have taken so many different things. And I know, on my health journey, like after I had COVID back in 2020, my hair was falling out in clumps. And guys, I literally bucked my hair to my chin. I had like an bob, like what do they call it?
A-line, asymmetrical.
Asymmetrical bob. Like I could show you pictures like on the story of Sister's show. Maybe I will when this goes out. But my hair was falling out in clumps. And that was a lot to do with like adrenal fatigue and hormonal imbalances. And then it started happening again last year. But once I got my hair to a healthy place, I stuck extensions in it. And I've had extensions in my hair consistently for 3 years, maybe, with no breaks. And so, of course, I feel like I have one hair in my head right now. But the Nutrafol, the second I started taking them, it's 4 a day. I actually brought them with me because I'm like neurotic with them. My nails are growing like crazy, and my hair is coming in thicker than I've ever seen it in my life. I like don't shed.
Really?
I don't shed hair.
Do you feel like you have a lot of new growth? And
I mean, I don't have a link, and I'm not over here trying to be like, guys, look, like buy my supplement, but like the volume from the root out, which I know you have to get your hands in my hair and kind of see what's going on. Like the bottom of my hair to the top of my hair is like completely different. So I do feel like there's a lot of new growth going on. again, I've only been taking them consistently for about like 50 days. And they say that you like, I'm on like an auto subscription. So I'm just going to take them indefinitely. But if you go to Nutrafol, again, I don't have a link, and you just look out at like the testimonies, and the before and afters are freaking mind blowing.
Yeah.
Like people that have alopecia, it goes away.
Well, I have some clients obviously that have finer hair or just struggle with hair loss, whether from hormones or pregnancy, whatever. And they always ask about supplements. And obviously, as a health person, I'm like, it all starts with what you eat. Yeah. But I think there does come a point where supplementing and doing things like rosemary oil and things like that are so beneficial. And I've been hearing a lot of people talk about Nutrafol recently, so it's very helpful because I can refer to
and
people
I'm ride or die for you, so I'll tell you the truth. They don't make you nauseous. I take them with a meal. I'm just excited to see, especially now that your hands are in my hair.
Ooh, I can't wait.
We're gonna see like as you move my extensions up and when you take them out. She's
stuck with me for life.
Duh, would I want to be anywhere else? No, but the fact that we'll be able to like, you'll see how my hair's coming in and be able to really get in there and see.
I'm excited.
So like, let's just revisit this in like 6 months.
Yeah.
And see, because you're gonna see my hair, and maybe we should take some pictures.
We
and
definitely are gonna take photos.
Yeah. No, it's gonna be good. But I've been really on the hair game and train. Also, I did get a code for the thyroid balm that I've been using, and I told you guys a couple episodes ago. It was on our Gen Z episode that I was trying to get a code, and I do have one. It's Real Raising Cubs, and they have a restock actually. So this is going live on Tuesday, and they are restocking this weekend. So if you use Real Raising Cubs, and we'll link them down, you will actually get a discount. And I'm really hyped because they have a sun one. Ooh. And you know how we feel about skin cancer, and like, guys, skin cancer is caused from SPF with cancer-causing ingredients in it. Yeah. Unpopular opinion. Here I go again, just like the gaming episode. So, by the way, guys, we're getting canceled for that, but It happens. You know, publicity, good or bad, is publicity. But anyway, so I'm excited to try. They have like a sun balm. They're sending me a ton of different ones. So.
Oh, that's so exciting.
Yeah.
I know how much you loved that thyroid.
When we do our next episode, I'll bring all of them on, and we'll just open them and sniff them out.
Perfect. We'll do a little product demo.
Yeah. She sells out fast. So again, they're having a restock this weekend. So when this drops on Tuesday, Real Raising Cubs, we'll link it down below. But I am almost out of the balm, and I'm depressed. And then she reached out and was like, I have a code. And so it's awesome.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So here we are. That. Look at us go. All right, guys. So for today's episode, we want to get just really vulnerable and talk to you guys about something that I think so many women, sisters, aunts, all of us have struggled with, especially in today's society. I know for myself, I'm a taller girl. I'm not like a giant, but I'm 5'6", and I've always been like wide, like from our dad, whatever you want to call it, big boned. I don't really know. So
big boned.
Whatever. Body image is today's episode, and we're just going to touch on just like the societal pressures, and then just like kind of where we've come from on the subject. So the last time I weighed like 120 pounds, I think I was in like 7th grade. Mm-hmm. And that goes back to me having, you know, just body dysmorphia and body image issues. And I have always struggled with this. And even as an adult and as a mother, and watching my body, you know, grow and expand 4 times over, and just how powerful female bodies are. Yeah. I am definitely way more confident in my 30s and late 30s, pushing 40 than I ever was in my early 20s or anything like that. But, you know, again, because I was always taller, because I had thick thighs and wide hips, I never really fit that norm. With you, though, I feel like the whole Kardashian movement came out. So when I grew up, it was like flat asses and big boobs were the thing. And I didn't have social media, thank God, because I would be like on so many things. Like it would be
so many things.
It would have been a problem because there would have been visual evidence of my shenanigans in high school.
I guess, yeah.
It would have been bad. I'm telling you. But as women, as aunts, as daughters, I feel like personally, and I don't have daughters, but just as like working with women, we have to do better between the filters on TikTok and the way that women are and our bodies are sexualized. I feel like constantly. Yeah. it's an issue. And so going back to me creating for humans, I have mad respect for my body now, and I appreciate what it can do. And when you're able to feed a child from your freaking boob, it's like, damn, like we are, you know, something else. But then of course also with age, things change, and I know you're not there yet, but it's just, I don't know. I just feel like this is a topic that we should definitely big sis, little sis talk and just kind of go over what we think maybe the issues are with it and our own personal journeys. I know we're going to touch on like, because Athina has helped me so much with my body image. No, seriously, you know that though.
I think that especially coming from the family we come from, our culture, I don't even know if it's a cultural thing or if it's just our family. I think it's a Greek thing, because I feel like I've heard other
Have you?
Yeah, like other Greek friends that I have also told me that their families were the same way, where it's like,
interesting,
you don't eat, you literally starve, and you want to be as skinny as possible. And it's not even skinny as in, you know, trying to have less fat on your body. It's like literally a skeletal figure thin. And
so you brought it up, so let's go there. Let's just start with our actual family.
So growing up, I feel like I had a very extreme sides of the spectrum, but I think I definitely like developed faster. And like I looked older than my age always. Like I was like 12 or 13 and like had curves. So for me, I think that a lot of my body image issues or comparisons or things like that definitely were accelerated through social media, because from the time you're in your early ages, you are constantly looking at everyone's body type. And as a child, like, you don't know. You look at your friends and it's like everyone normally looks around the same. And then as you get older,
it starts to divide.
And so for me, I think it wasn't even social media as much as it was
our family. Yeah. Okay. So let's just go for it. I'm going for it. So basically what you're beating around the bushes.
Am I?
Maybe. So just like you said, I don't even know that it was about not eating, because our Yaya always wanted us fed. It was always, for me especially, it's like whenever I was like sick, literally the most unhealthy I've ever been was that Greece summer that we were in Greece together. I think you were 4 and I was like 19. And I literally was like unwell.
When you posted that photo on your story.
Did you see me? Did you, like, do I have an eating disorder or something?
Did you?
No, I ate.
You just had a really fast metabolism, I guess.
I ate, I was working out, doing crazy cardio, and I was obsessed with weighing under 130.
So you were fixated on a number.
And I was doing it like so unhealthy, and it was constant, like, and every time my like bones stuck out, our dad would be like, "You look so good. You look so good." And let's go there. So I'm going to say that what I've seen, and I didn't even grow up in the same house as our father, is it really matters with girls, and I don't even have daughters, but for me as a daughter, what our dad liked, he kind of put that on us, like that we had to have that body type.
Yeah.
Which is also kind of like ick, because I don't want to be something that my dad liked, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it seems like when you hear, I think that there was always conversations. Is that what it was? There was always conversations behind the scenes of everyone's bodies. But like seriously, a lot of conversations were always fixated on people's bodies.
Yeah, it's always commentary about, did you see how she looks? Like, oh, she gained weight. Oh, she lost weight. Did you see what she was wearing? And I think
I'm glad it wasn't just me.
No, it was definitely a very common topic that would always come up. And I think it's so wild, because as women, we already deal with
so much pressure.
And I mean, I don't want to bring this up and like go into it, but even with like the post that we made that people don't like, the video game commentary, it's like the first thing men go to is to attack how your appearance. Yeah. And it's like, why is that the first thing that as a woman, like, you have as an insult to say to me? It's, why are we so conditioned that that's the first thing we think of when we think of insulting a woman? It's like, how does she look? What is she?
I'm a 4 out of 10.
Right. And it's like that it doesn't mean anything about your self-worth or who you are as a person. And because this is the way we speak as a society, and this is the way we speak in our own homes, parents to children, it's like, how else do you expect kids to grow up? Of course they're going to grow up and to be self-hating adults, because that's what we're raised on, is like literally being told our whole life that our identity and our self-worth is based on
how we look,
the number on the scale.
Yeah.
And I'm thankful that in the fitness industry, at least, I feel like things are slowly shifting in the direction of like people are realizing, okay, just because someone weighs 94 pounds, it doesn't mean that they're healthy.
Yeah.
And just because someone is on the curvier side or holds on to fat in certain places, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're unhealthy. There has to be a nuance and a balance within that, because without that, you're creating standards that young girls cannot, it's not realistic.
Yeah, and that's why I have such an issue with filters, which we talked about on the last episode, is, you know, texture in our skin and smile lines, which I mean, guys, you know, I'm very open. Like, I've had my lips injected before. I'm very like, call us vain, but I want to age backwards. I want to be the best version of myself, for my husband, for myself, for everything. But, you know, there's actual scientific evidence of the damage this is doing on young girls when you go on Snapchat, and it's always that it's editing your face to look just a little bit better, a little bit smoother. And let's talk about that mental health aspect of that. And so my biggest thing is TikTok, Snapchat, society, fake news. You don't get to decide what a beauty standard is. And I want there to be more of a, you know, and you know, I'm not like, because there's also toxic body positivity, which I'm going to touch on, but I'm not going to allow them to dictate what beauty is. And like my boys too, the other thing with me bringing up our dad and like how a lot of that stems, this is the crazy part. Like you said, I made a statement about what I want in a relationship. I'm happily married successfully for 14 years. I have multiple businesses, children. We live in an island in the Florida Keys. Like, we're successful, and I'm married. And I just was shooting shots saying like, this is what I like, and this is what my standard. And everyone's allowed to have their own opinion.
Right.
But immediately, especially on social media, like you said, it's like, oh, you ugly bitch, and you 4 out of 10, and like you're a rat. Like, men now, and
it's from men.
I'm not used to that on my page. I have hate and haters, and I've been canceled or whatever before. But like, these men are grown AF men, and they are going for me. And I'm bringing the male aspect into this conversation because I may not have a daughter, but the way that I allow my boys to see a real body, and the way I speak to myself, and the way that Sean plays and flirts with me and pinches my ass, and the boys see me in a bikini, that is setting up the next gen of males and how they view true beauty. And so I really feel like on the body image subject, moms and women in general, we need to do better. And then also with you, like, not just for the girls, but for your sons.
I think that's a really important point to bring up, because I feel like whenever I hear people talking about this topic of body image and how as a woman you view yourself and you view your body, I literally never hear any men talk about it, and I never hear men addressing the conversation, but it's literally like half the problem. Yeah. Literally.
And we have to have that conversation.
We have to, because we can do all the work ourselves, and we can create this perfect persona of ourselves before we walk out the door every day of how much we love ourselves and our bodies. But once you get into that world and half the world is men, then what? Then what happens when their first insults or their you know, their entire lives are revolving around how this girl looks,
what we look like.
And it's like, yeah, of course there's men out there that get it and are respectful and love a real woman. But then there's a lot that aren't. So I think the fact that you're raising sons and knowing as a woman that's such an important part of raising a well-rounded man is making sure that they are aware of what real women look like, what real women go through. Like, not to go completely into a side note, but like there was literally boys in my high school that like didn't even know like
a period
when periods happen. And I'm like, it's so sad, because it's like, as a parent, your job is to raise children into adults that can go out into the world and have some sort of understanding of how the world works. And how are you not going to teach them about such crucial basic things?
Right.
And I think it's just really hard because we put a lot of the pressure on ourselves to be saying affirmations and be, you know, not going on social media. But even if we do all of those things, it's like you still go into the real world and you're bombarded with all of these insults and just people being mean for no reason.
Moms of boys, like, keep it real. Like, my boys know I've had 3 cesareans. I let them ask me questions about my body and how did they cut. Like, I mean, we've had like in-depth conversations about like C-sections and having a natural birth. And when I have my period, like I'm not like over in the corner. I mean, of course, like you know, this is, I don't think, hopefully won't get me canceled again, but like I'm very open with my body. And a certain age, obviously you don't shower with your son, right, guys here? But like when they were little, like they, you know, very little, of course. But the conversation is fluid, and you want to, you know, play and flirt in front of your boys. Like they usually typically marry and have we're setting the standard, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And so for beauty and for body image, I believe if you and me went back, even though raised in completely different situations and homes, it starts from the nucleus of the house. Mm-hmm. Then the outside influence, of course, comes naturally. It comes in middle school, it comes in high school, it comes when you have a smartphone and you go on TikTok and you use Snapchat filters. But parents, and then with your children, that's where we need to set the standard and the tone for body image. And, you know, I'll touch on really quick, our family always put a huge pressure on what we looked like. Yeah. Always. Yeah. Like when I would go over for Christmas, or when we would have anything and I'm not even saying that as like shots fired at our Greek side of our family. I'm saying it in the sense of, you know, that everyone just takes care of themselves for the most part on our immediate family, and we care. And I think that there's a beauty in that too. Like, I'm glad and proud your mom is beautiful. Our dad looks good. Like, we take pride in how we look, but it can't be the only thing you're conversating about when you run into like Bob at the store is like, oh my gosh, he put on all this weight. Likewise, I'll touch on very briefly is you helped me so much with my body image, which is like silly and funny at the same, like it's humbling, but it's like funny because she was literally like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 years old. And I was so programmed from our family, like skinny was best, bones are better, whatever. And I remember all you cared about was like a badonkadonk. Like, you're like, I just want to have a big fat ass. And I'm just like, you have one. You're like, no, bigger. And I remember her being like 12, having arguments with our dad and your mom because you were like bulking. You guys. She was literally bulking, and she's like, Sean and her like would eat the same amount of food, and this was a little 5', 12-year-old. And I remember you did the damn thing, like you grew that ass. It was probably when you bought that like thing, remember in middle school or something, you bought like the program that was impossible too. But I remember during that time, you being 12, 13, and I like had children at this point, and I was still trying to like live up to the standard of our family, what they thought was beautiful. Yeah. And you looked at me and you're like, what do you think is beautiful? And I was like 27 years old, and I'm like, my sister's schooling me at like 15 on this thing. Anyway, and it's really, really true. It's like, at the end of the day, I want to feel beautiful and I take pride in how I look and all that. But a fit, healthy body, that's the best fashion statement.
Yeah.
And that looks different for everyone.
When I was thinking about body image relating to myself, I've always kind of had like a struggle because I have always been a very like confident person. And when it came to my body, it was never something that I really thought about that much. Like I always was pretty content with how I looked.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes like I'm like, is there something, like, am I missing something? Like it was never something I thought about until other people would bring it up, whether it was family members or even like religious circles, like where like what you're wearing comes up and what's being revealed, and it's like, oh wait, why can I not wear something because I'm curvier, but that girl can because she's a stick. So
yeah, that's so hard. That is so frustrating.
I mean, it's definitely mind effing because you're like, what's happening? But I think that it was something I didn't really think about until other things would bring it up for me. Then when I started going to the gym, like actually getting into lifting like crazy, that's when the body dysmorphia comes and you're constantly immersing yourself in that gym culture. And I think that was the first time for me, I would say probably around like age, I don't know, 16 or whatever, that I started really, I guess, like noticing how I looked, to the point like now when I look in the mirror, I'll notice like a centimeter of a change. You know what I mean? Like, we know how we look. We're so in tune with our bodies. I feel like when I was younger, I didn't notice those things. I feel like nowadays, probably girls a lot younger, like, notice things. I really, like, didn't until I started getting older. And I feel like the gym culture was very prevalent on social media. And that's when you start following all these fitness influencers and all these different girls with all different types of bodies that are making fitness content, and you start to, like, I got really bad body dysmorphia to the point where, like, for literally a period of like 3 years, I was like, do I look any different? Like, I'm going to the gym every day. Is anything changing? Now when I look back and I see photos, I'm like, oh, I was in this like crazy state of hormonal fatigue and working out way too much for what my body needed. But I didn't know that at the time. But it's like, I see, and I remember feeling like, why are all gym girls, why do they all look the same? And as I've gotten older, I realized really that trends change. Like you said in the beginning, when you were younger, it was a trend to have big boobs and literally no ass. Like, I remember watching One Tree Hill from like 2006 or whatever it came out, and like, I remember if a girl had like a butt, it was like an insult. It was like, oh, is my butt fat? Like, I need to go hit the gym. And now it's
that's
like,
100% to a generational thing, I think, because I think if we go to the boomers, it's like that typical model look is what was like prevalent and what was acceptable back then. And then obviously curves are in and they should be in, and you know, but also I don't want to shame women that don't have, like, my ass isn't as fat as hers. Yes, we both have huge hips and like we are bottom heavy, but like we need to honor every body type, every, you know, like, she's shorter, I'm taller. And I think like too, like even Sean, when he asked like, what's this week's episode on? And I said body image, like, let's not even go here because he's not here to say it, but he's like, I've never been healthier in my life and I have extreme body dysmorphia. And this guy, my husband, works out 6 days a week. And that's like another thing too. It's like, isn't that interesting? Like when it's almost like, because it becomes like an obsession almost.
I think that's what it was for me when I went through a crazy gym phase, was like, you become so fixated on things because you're constantly exposing yourself to
that culture and that
and all the influencers that are in that vibe and space. And then you literally start to get fixated on every little thing, and it becomes very toxic, because it's like, true loving your body is about feeling your best and then looking in the mirror and loving how you look in clothes, loving how you look in photos. Like, let's be real, like, we live in a time and a place where we're seeing ourselves in photos. We're seeing ourselves on a camera.
Right.
We're seeing ourselves in clothes when we go out. And like, you want to like how you look. And the worst feeling, and I want to say this because it's something I've always struggled with. The worst feeling is someone taking a photo of you. And even like now, like to be honest, like I'll see a photo of myself and I'm like, do I actually look like that? Like, and I will literally spiral, and it's really unhealthy and it's not good. And I don't do anything, like I don't stop eating. Like I've never struggled with an eating disorder personally, but I'll get really in my head like, why does my arm look like that in that photo? Mm-hmm. Why does my stomach look like that in that photo? If someone catches me at the wrong angle right before I'm about to get my period, I look 4 months pregnant. Why do I look like that?
Right.
And we start to spiral and basically tell ourselves that all the work we've done is a waste. Mm-hmm. That what's the point of working out? What's the point of eating good if I don't even like how I look anyways? And I'm still having to train myself to tell myself that's not what it's about, Athina. Like, I
think we're all works in progress. And like, I just want to also tell you that it's like completely normal that like, I don't want it to be like, oh, that's okay and acceptable to talk down about yourself. But like, we all struggle with seeing a picture that you don't like, or, you know,
it makes me spiral.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm 36 and I still have that happen. So I have nothing to tell you other than like, you are doing the best that you can for your body, and you take care of your body, and like, we only get one of these bodies. I know. And so, you know, I think a lot of the spiraling for you, because I didn't grow up with social media, even though I am on it so much now, is even when I flip my phone around and I'm talking to Instagram without a filter on, like I notice like my crepey neck, and I'm going to get a neck thing done tomorrow together and we're going to vlog it. But it's like, we see things so much differently, even though yes, trolls come for me online, and men especially, it's disgusting how they instantly are making comments about how I look and all this. But, you know, we have things that we notice about ourselves more than anyone else will notice it.
We're our own worst critics.
And, you know, I always tell my clients this: every single cell of your body is listening to your thoughts. Mm-hmm. And so you have to watch that spiral, because I know you're not depressed. I know you're not eating. I know you don't have any like mental health issues, but you can't we have 76,000 thoughts minimum that come through our head a day. And as fast as they come in, the good news is they can go out. Yeah. And so if you find yourself, like, even for me, like, I'm about to get my period. I do not like how I got a little puffy midsection going on right now, but like, part of self-awareness is holding space, like, oh, I'm getting my period. So like, just like we didn't do a photo shoot when you were about to have yours, or, you know, women, we are so powerful. And, you know, when you have my first niece or nephew, like, you're going to have more respect for your body. Yeah. Joey's going to be obsessed even more with you. And it's a journey of self-love. And I don't think any of us have this figured out. We need to realize we are the ones that are in control of the beauty standard. Yeah. Like, I'm okay with smile lines and like maybe my forehead moving, whereas other women, they might want their forehead not to move, and I don't like my neck, and maybe they like their neck. Like, I don't want to take on society's idea of what body image is and body positivity, whatever, but like, only we get to decide it for ourselves.
Right. And there's this one woman on TikTok, I don't remember her name. If I can find her, I'll put her in the description. But she's in her 40s, and she might be, I think she's in her like late 40s, and she goes on TikTok and she says things I wish I knew in my 20s, but I'm older, and this is what I'm trying to embed in my brain. Yeah. As I get old, I'm stuck with how I look, and obviously you can change how you look. Yeah. But I'm stuck in this body. I can't change my bone structure. I can't change the natural shape I got unless I got surgery, which I don't plan on doing. I can't change my boobs. I can't change, like, you can't change these things. I can't change my metabolism. Yeah. I'm stuck with it. And the quicker that you learn to love it and find a balance for yourself of taking care of your body by exercising and eating right and all of those things, and in turn creating a body that you feel comfortable in, the faster you learn how to do that, the less time you're going to spend hating it.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be 45 or 55 or 65 or 105 when I die on my deathbed and look back and be like, why did I spend so much freaking time hating how I looked and complaining about how I looked? I saw another video of this girl, and she was like, when you're in your coffin at your funeral,
oh my gosh,
no one's going to talk about your flabby arms or your wide waist or how small your butt was or your double chin in that one photo that you posted. Like, no one's talking about that. And it's like, how you look is an important part of how you are as a person, because it helps give you confidence, or it takes away your confidence. It's such an important part of who you are. But let's not let it consume ourselves to the point where we drive ourselves to insanity, because I will do that. I'll get fixated on something where I'm like, okay, what can I do to fix this really quick? And it's like, Athina, you need to stop. And if there's one example I can think of, love the Kardashians for what they are, but like, please look at a body evolution of what happened there, because
seriously,
now like Khloe weighs 102 pounds, and that's fine. Like, I don't know them personally, and they're on their own journey and whatever, but it's like, don't do things because they're trendy. Just like curves were trendy, and then now breast implants were trendy.
Explant
now
surgeries are
taking their breast implants out. It's like, don't do things because it's trendy, or don't do things because of where you live or what guys like. It's not about that. Find what it is that makes you feel beautiful. Like, I realize, and I think we both realize, like, I want to be curvier, but I don't want to feel like puffy.
You and I both are on that journey. It's like, this is not like the programming of our upbringing or anything like that. It's literally, we feel better not as curvy, if that makes sense. Like, and we don't even, we love curves, we love a good boob, a good butt, like, but we don't want to feel like our lymph nodes are overwhelmed, and like we want our detox pathways open. And so like the puffiness that we would see if I'm like 10 pounds heavier than I am right now, or you know, because especially me as a coach, I'm constantly sharing my before and afters and sharing my clients before and afters. And I want you guys to know, like, I hold space for her. I hold space for you when you aren't living up to your full potential. I think ultimately true body image, and the goal that I have in being in the health space, is, are you living up to your potential?
Yeah.
And there's no perfection. And I don't mean that I don't have, like we talked about, you'll see like your belly when you're about to get your period, or I don't like how my arm or my neck looks on this podcast, or my 2 George Washington hairs. But when you, just like with imposter syndrome, when you know that you are doing the damn best you can do for your health, you're going to look good, and you are going to have a more positive outlook on yourself. And I think that when we get in our head, and maybe you'll connect the two of your thought spiral that happens, is maybe that week you weren't doing your best, or there was lack in your routine, whatever. And that's okay too. I want to talk to two really fast, the moms out there. You know, our bodies are pushed, and they're stretched, and they're changed. And 2 things that I wanted to say that you made me think of before I forget, because ADHD is, I saw a TikTok or a reel or whatever, and it was like, and it made me, I started bawling. I probably was getting my period, but it was like, I don't know if you've seen it. It's like 60-year-old you would kill to be exactly as old as you are, with this exact weight that you are right now, and have the, like, I am not regret. Like, I love being 36. I don't look at you like, I know like boomers do this. They look at like a 20-year-old. They're like, oh, what I would do to be a 20-year-old.
That's so weird.
I don't do that. Like, when I'm like 46, I'm gonna be like, I'm fucking 46. But I want you guys to realize, listening, that you would give anything 10 years from now, 20 years from now, to be exactly as old as you are, exactly the weight that you are, because we take for granted in this body image bullshit that we do and pressures we give ourselves. It's like, ultimately, I would kill when I'm 60 to feel how I feel right now. And who am I to beat up 36-year-old Jackie that made 4 humans? Like, my tits sag. And this is what I want. They do.
They fed 4 children.
They did. And, you know, I really wanted to get a boob job after our 4th baby. And I'm like, I deserve that. Now, the black box warning on breast implants, in my mind, just like Botox, I just can't justify it. That's just my own stupid opinion for me. Now, I can get down with some fat movement. Okay. So like, I know there's like air sculpting out there and women that get mommy makeovers. And so that's what I also wanted to touch on is, do not ever freaking change your body or get breast implants or a BBL or lip injections for your freaking spouse. Don't do it. For your ex. For like, let's just say that right now. If you feel like you would feel better as a human being and as a woman and as a mom naked, for you, go do that. Like, I can 100%. I've heard so many stories where women are like, my husband doesn't like my boobs anymore. I'm like, excuse me? Oh yeah.
Like, he doesn't like them after she
yeah,
had
because they turn into like deflated raisins. But it's like, there was a toddler sucking the crap out of my nipple. What do you want from me? And so I just want to like empower you that like, and make sure if you are someone that's listening and you're thinking about getting a mommy makeover or you're thinking about whatever, just like you said, don't follow the trends. Also, really think through, if you are going to alter your body and it's something permanent, like, make sure you're doing it for the right reasons.
What's helped me to separate myself from what I'm seeing on my phone or the TikToks or the models, or which I'm a model to myself. Like,
same.
I think I'm a model. Like, I don't know who's to say. I mean, I don't want to look like a carbon copy of every girl. Here in Miami, every freaking girl looks the same. Yeah. I don't like, and that's fine. Like, you're beautiful, but I don't want to look like a carbon copy of every girl walking around. Yeah. It's literally like, I could pick them out of a hat. But for me, and I think you can probably agree to this too, what's helped me kind of push back against that is doing things that I know will make me feel good normally results in me looking good. Yeah. And it normally results in me liking how I look. Right. And every day of the week, I will choose looking in the mirror and loving how I feel and loving how I'm energized and I am ready to take on my day feeling good and confident versus physically looking a certain way that is societally acceptable, but in reality, I feel like shit. I'm not taking care of myself properly, and you will never love yourself in a world of that.
Yeah, and I think in closing, I have written down here, there's nothing more rare, more beautiful than a woman being unapologetically herself. And so I think like that's a great place to close it. It's like body image and the way that we view ourselves, how much that matters, the way that we speak to ourselves, the way that we talk about ourselves around our kids, around our sister. You know, I'm sure she's heard me a million times say I'm fat. And like I was joking the other day on my Instagram, I was like, if only we weighed what we weighed when we thought we were fat. Literally, because that would be like me 30 pounds lighter. Yeah. Okay. And it's so important that you know that most times when you see someone that has that perfect, whatever the perfect body is, or that you think is perfect, typically their insides are struggling. It goes with like your style. Like what I find beautiful and what makes me feel best doesn't have to be what you think makes me look the best. Like obviously it's different. We're sisters, but just be you. Like you want to know what's hot? You want to know what, like, will give you the best body image, like mental state is one, being the best version of yourself and every day working towards your higher self and 1% better. And then just like own it. Own who you are. Don't change for anybody. Don't change in 10 years when like big butts aren't in. If the Lord gave you a big butt, like own that big ass, you know? Like my sister, you're my hype man. Like seriously, like
sisters are for.
We're going to get off this and we're going to go shopping and like I could be in the worst headspace, but like that's what we have to do for each other. And as women, it's like, lift up your sisters, lift up your girlfriends. Like, we all are struggling. Literally, we're all struggling. You might think that I'm this like tough ass lioness, which I am, but like, I have shitty days, and I call her crying, and I'm like, I'm a fat slob. And
at the end of the day, and I think we can literally talk about this for hours, is give up the people pleasing when it comes to your body.
Put it to rest.
You will never reach a place of contentment when you are trying to form your body in a way to make other people happy, whether you even notice you're doing it or not. But I know, watching you and how you've grown when it comes to your body, that those comments that our dad would make or other Yiga would make, like, those have an effect. And yes, you can pretend that you can handle it, but anyone would be, on the treadmill thinking, oh shit, like, my dad called me chubby, a whale. Like, anyone would feel that way. And so it's like, you have done so much work to get past that point. And I'm really proud of you, because I know how much of a struggle it's been, especially with, obviously, I haven't had kids yet, so I don't know what my body's going to look like when I have kids. And I'm sure by that time we'll be on my couch with 4 more modules, and we'll be recording about my saggy boobs and my belly, and I don't know. We'll be
Maybe
there.
I'll have a lift.
She'll be air sculpted, and I'll be saggy. But it's like...
No, it was a lot of work.
It's a lot of work, because you have to completely transform the way that you view yourself and get rid of the opinions of other people, even if it's your own family.
Yeah.
Because...
Or your spouse, which thankfully for me, what helped me in all those moments was Sean.
Yeah.
Because he's been obsessed with me, whether I was 200 pounds or, 120 pounds. He's loved it all. So I feel like too, also thank you for being proud of me. It always means everything. But I know you've seen me cry a lot about comments that like our dad would make, or just whatever. And it's really, I want to tell the parents out there, if you're listening, like, watch how you talk to your adult children, and watch the conversations that your sons and daughters are listening to you have. Because if it's always like, did you see Molly on Facebook and she gained weight? It's like, we need to do better. We need to do better. And, if you feel comfortable, take the freaking filter off and just be who you are. And it's a constant process. And I'm glad that you said, if you're putting your body image in the hands of others, you're going to lose every time.
Yeah.
So
that's what we've learned.
Take that power back and surround yourself with people that are really, really rooting for you. It's like, I remember people be like, I look like complete shit. They're like, you look so cute. And I'm like, yeah, because you want me to look like shit.
Yeah.
Fix your friend's crown. Don't fucking tell her that it's like crooked,
Yeah.
And so that is the only vibe I'm here for. Life is too short. I don't have time for bullshit narcissist relationships. Like, if you're a fucking snake, if you're low-key jealous, get out of my way, get out of my life. I'm here for strong ass women that we are all rising together. So, body image.
The hotter your friends are, the hotter you are.
Show me your friends, I'll show you your future.
The hotter we all are. And that's the goal here. Okay.
Seriously. We'll get canceled for being too into ourselves. That's fine. But anyway.
Honestly, that's a solid way to go down.
Not video game shame?
No.
No, I know. It's not even worth it, guys.
No.
You're not my husband. It's fine. Like, go game.
You don't have to marry us if you don't want to.
I'm already wifed the fuck up. It's fine. And like, honestly, it was funny because like, I have 4 Xboxes in my house.
That's what the best part about it is.
I have 4 Xboxes in my house, except I'm not married to them. I'm not married to my son. So I'm not like anti-game. It was my expiration. And it was my opinion, guys. It's fine. If you
either love us
if
or
you
you
like
don't.
are riding your man while he's like playing Halo or whatever, like, do you. Like, that's fine. Let me do me.
You either love us or you don't. And if you don't,
there's no in between.
The exit is right there.
All right, guys, as always, thank you for listening. I hope that we've inspired you, and leave us a 5-star review. It helps our podcast be seen, whether on Spotify or Apple. If you guys have any questions, you can always hit us up on TikTok. Usually we're on Instagram messages. Also, links down below of everything we talked about.
Yes, we love you guys so much. Thank you for all your support, and we'll see you next week.
You're beautiful.